It's time for Banking on Solar. This is your host, Bart Frischknecht. Solar developers, investors, and lenders all risk losing projects when they bog down during financing. Banking on Solar is the podcast community where energy transition project financing stakeholders share lessons learned so that more projects get built. By listening, you will hear how deals get done. This podcast is a resource for professionals that are new to the solar industry to get up to speed quickly on financing solar projects. It's also a resource for experienced professionals seeking to tap into an increasing network of project financing stakeholders across the U.S. and the world. If you've been listening to podcasts in this industry, you'll know there are policy and economics-oriented podcasts. There are big picture finance and investment podcasts. There are news roundup podcasts. There are industry profile podcasts that interview industry luminaries. These shows all tend to take a personality-first smorgasbord approach or a current event-focused approach, both super valuable. In contrast, Banking on Solar focuses on a single transactional issue, how to get more projects funded with the goal of helping everyone get more projects built. The solar industry is poised for long-term growth, but there are a few bottlenecks. Two of them we'll address on this podcast. One, investors and lenders that are comfortable with solar so that they choose to put their capital to work in solar rather than staying on the sideline or settling for opportunities where they have more experience. And two, developers that understand both renewable energy development and project financing deeply so that they can bring high-quality projects that investors and lenders can say yes to. At first blush, this may seem to be a new-to-the-industry issue or a new-to-the-industry type podcast, and it is. New developers and new investors and lenders are moving into this space. And with how fast technology and project scope is evolving, even the most experienced in industry are creating or considering new types of projects all the time. We can all help each other. You still may be asking yourself if you're in the right place. If you are a solar developer, investor, lender, attorney, or consultant with responsibility for some aspect of project finance, you're in the right place. I created this podcast because I'm one of those people starting as an outsider working on moving to insider status. We'll learn together with the interview guests. We'll cover a range of up-to-date topics like basics of project financing and typical capital stacks with renewables, but also questions like, is merchant revenue here to stay versus contracted revenue? What are the issues coming out of the IRA? How is it going to be interpreted? What precedents can we look to? What are other pending local and state policies? What are additional new and interesting financing structures? What are the new and growing markets? What are the technology innovations that we need to take into account? And what are the legal perspectives on all of this? But all of these topics from the perspective of things we've seen go right and things that have gone bad on the way to getting projects funded and built. If you have an interesting guest idea for someone you'd like to see on the show, or if you have something to share with this group, leave a voice message on the website bankingonsolar.media or send me a note at bart@bankingonsolar.media. You can also find me on LinkedIn. Now is the time to be banking on solar. There is money to be made and the planet to save. Until next time, I'm Bart Frischknecht, and this is Banking on Solar.